It's your boy, Colton Havens, aka Mr. Hype. Super excited for y'all to be here. Okay. Today we're talking about why leaders are readers. Okay. And the most important books that have changed not only my life, but countless other people's lives in the business world, to the finances, to really getting what we want out of life. Okay. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, my friend, make sure that you go and get the video marketing made easy.yescolton.com and download this PDF so you can post videos across all your social media platforms in less than 10 minutes a day, so you can reach your customers where they're at, because you don't know the customers you're missing if you're not posting over there. Okay, so today we're going to talk about one of the most important books when it comes to business. Okay, and that, my friend, is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay, this book right here changed everything for me. Okay, so a little background on the story here. I was working in sales, commission sales, working on a mall kiosk. And my first week that I did that, I made like $800 in 3 days or so, something like that. And it was super awesome. But then after like 2, 3 weeks of me working there all by myself, I was making like maybe $50 to $100 a week. Okay. And not good, not good. Okay. And then one of my friends or mentors at the time, she sat me down and she's like, hey, so we need to map this out for you. And I was like, okay, she's like, how many do you think you can do? And then we got the number down of how many sales I needed a week in order to just live, right? But the thing is that the way I got consistent, and she says, did you read the books that we told you to read? Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich. Did you read those books? I was like, I don't read. I'm not a reader. I don't read books. I don't read books. Okay. That's for geeks. That's for nerds. I don't read. And even now, I wouldn't consider myself a reader, but audio books, everything that I talk about reading, it's audio books. I do have hardcover books, but I didn't read those nearly as much. Okay. But anyway, she goes, you need to read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I was like, no, I don't. I don't need that. Reading's for nerds, right? And she goes, no, you really need it. And when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, my brain was like, right? Have you read that book? If you have, did you have the same thing? What happened to you when you read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad? Super curious, because for me, I was making like maybe $500 every 2 weeks. And then after I started reading it and actually digest it and believed in what it was saying, I started doing like 1,400 to 1,200 every 4 days, right? In the same exact job, especially for sales job and commissions. And what it did for me was it told me and showed me that I was thinking about money all wrong. Okay. I thought money, you just put in hours to earn money. Like if you have to put in X amount of hours to earn money, and that is the worst way to earn money at all. Right. And the thing with Rich Dad Poor Dad is it showed that my beliefs about money came from my family and how I was raised. That's why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, because we learn money foundations. And hey, don't chew on that wire. We found we get our money foundations from our family and our parents. So we have to ask ourselves, do we want the life that they have? Okay. And if the answer is no, we stop listening to them about money. Stop it. Stop listening to your parents about money. Stop listening to your family about money. Okay. Especially if they don't have any money or they tell you you got to go get a job. Okay. Now, granted, I've worked lots of jobs, lots of jobs. Okay. And until I developed a skill of sales and my mental capacity for that, I would have just been working. Okay. I thought I was going to be working construction my entire life until I read this book, until I realized that I could get paid to talk to people. And the fact, and my money blueprint was wrong. You have a money blueprint. Wow, it's crazy, right? You may have known this already, okay? But a money blueprint, we all have one. And that determines our lifestyle, right? And everybody's money blueprint is different. It's kind of like a thermostat, okay? If you make a lot of money, this is why people, when they win the lottery, they don't keep it for a lot, okay? But money is like a thermometer, okay? It's set at a certain temperature, and if you open up the window and it gets colder and it drops, you close the window again, it's going to go right back to the same place that it was. Now, if it gets hotter and it raises up and you earn extra money, then you're going to spend all that money and you're going to end up right in that same place of where you are comfortable earning money. Okay. And that's why, like when I first started to really realize this, I remember before I read this book, I had like negative $500 in my bank account at the time. And I wasn't having to pay rent at the time. It was just me living at my brother's place. And all I had was my car payment of like 100, or insurance of like $100 at the time, right? This is straight out of college. And I was blaming the money on my bank. I'm like, the bank's taking all my money. No, the fact was is I wasn't making any money. And so all my expenses and whatnot, they just didn't add up. The money didn't add up to how much I was earning. I didn't consciously realize it. I just wanted to throw my hands up and be like, poor me, money, money. I have no idea how to control this. I'll always be its slave, da 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 da. Right. And I didn't think those exact thoughts, but that's exactly what was happening. Is I was just kind of like, oh, it's just this way, because that's how I was raised, right? We didn't talk about money. We didn't talk about how money was made. We didn't talk about how much we earned. We didn't talk about how much we spent. We didn't talk about how to make more. None of that. Money was evil. Okay. And as you guys know, if you don't have money, that's when evil starts to show up. People steal and rob and all sorts of things to try to earn money. And the people that have money, they just go buy the things that they need, right? Don't need to do that. So the book Rich Dad Poor Dad is a huge step in my life. All right. And the Think and Grow Rich, and also another one, The Millionaire Next Door, also a super important book in my life as well too, that changed the perspective of how I look at the world and how things actually work. And then when I realized money comes from people, not your time that you put in. That was a huge one for me. Okay. And that's also how with that mindset, you're able to run a business, knowing that you need a client and not more time put in. That makes a huge shift. Um, but most of us are probably, I mean, some of you here are already way past that point, and I'm sure that you got to where you are from reading and learning and studying. Well, even before this call, I was on like an hour training on more video marketing stuff, right? So even I go and buy other trainings from other people, and I learn more about how I can market myself even better, and I teach people how I've been able to do it so far, right? And remember, when you're teaching somebody something, they just have to be one step behind you in order for them to want to learn from you. And then you just look for the person that's one step or multiple steps ahead of you to learn from. And iron sharpens iron. And the best way to learn something that you just learned is to try and teach it to somebody else. And that makes you learn twice as fast, because you'll be able to break down every single step. Okay. So if you want, no, because you want to um, get to the next level in finances and business, it's the books. Okay. Not only that, but you have to have action. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad, super powerful. Think and Grow Rich, also super powerful. This $7 will change your life. Okay. Okay. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I think is 15 paperback, right? Dude, Think and Grow Rich too. Oh my goodness. These two books combined, you just read those back and forth, my friend, and they will change a lot of things in your life. Really just how you assess what's really important, because most people work on things that are not important all the time, thinking that they're making progress, and they're just staying busy. They're actually not being productive at all. They're just staying busy. Okay. And we need to be productive, not busy. Okay. And those are some of the things that have changed my life completely. Okay. Because you're making videos and you're gaining and you want to reach more people about your business, make sure you go to videomarketingmadeeasy.yescolton.com so you can post to all your social media accounts in less than 10 minutes a day. Okay, that's a PDF you can get. I'm going to see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Love you. Peace.